And we're set to go, baby. They are at the circle right in the middle of the CA, and there's the whistle, and we are underway. And coming away with the first face-off is going to be Geneva. Brings it over here on the sideline, does Jeremy Askin, the sophomore. He loses control, though. Loses his footing, actually. And puck, yeah, strike one. I got that one out of the way pretty quick, Greg. I got that one out of the way pretty darn quick. The ball, puck. Woo, I got hockey on my mind, you know what I'm saying? But Canandaigua going to start right over here off, right around the 30-yard line, just at the edge of the box, and they're going to hang around, wheel it around the outside. The Panthers going to settle into what looks like a zone defense, and Canandaigua going to work. They're going to do the same thing you would do in basketball or any other place you have to go up against the zone, man. They're going to just wheel it around the outside, try and move that defense around, create a seam, create a space, and then attack when the time is right. Over here on the near side with Jackson Grant, senior, going to go to Wingate. Right hand takes it right down into the slot, passes it over to the right alley, and here's a shot, and shot taken from the right-hand side. Looked like that was Matt Bellis, the Mercyhurst commit, the senior. His dad, Mark Bellis, playing for St. Bonaventure. 10:55 left to play here in the first. So the goal line is, or the goal is set up at the 10-yard line on the football field. That is one reason I like calling games at multi-use facilities. And one of those, sports that they play on the field is football, because it has markings that I can use to give you an even better idea of where the ball is. So ball is up top here with Grant. They're going to swing it around over to the top. It's going to take me a little while to get, used to who everything is. And here's the shot from the top, and I believe that was Elliot Morgan. So Elliot Morgan, the senior, going to go to St. Joe's. St. Joe's out there towards Buffalo, where Canandaigua and Victor are both going to go play Brother Rice on April 22nd and 23rd. And that Canandaigua-Brother Rice game will be broadcast live here on Chosen Spot Radio. That comes at 10:46 left to play. Right up top, Elliot Morgan's going to knock it down, draw first blood for the season and the game with 10:46 left to play. Who was it? That's what I thought. They're giving the assist to Grant? Yep, all right, so they're giving the assist to Jackson Grant. Here is the face-off, and it is going to be still not controlled. Almost picking it up was Ryan Brown, the junior, but instead it's going to be picked up by a long pole for Canandaigua. Nice job there by Will Rude, the freshman. Again, me in goal for Canandaigua. They get it over to the far side. And a great dodge there by Brady Camella, one of the captains. And I don't know, do I see a flag? Did I miss something? I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing things. I thought I saw a flag there, Greg. There is. There's one laying on the ground right over there by the 40-yard line. So not sure what that call is going to be, but we're going to find out. Oh, maybe not. Maybe that isn't a flag. You see it, Greg? It's right over there by the 0 and the 40. I think it is. We're just waiting for the Geneva to get possession, I think. We'll find out. 9:45 left to play. Presented by Matt at the Motors. MattAtTheMotors.com. Dude will hook you up. Right back in the slot now, which is just the center of the field in between the hash marks. It was there with Drew Willamay. I'll tell you, I was watching that kid play a lot of lacrosse down there on JV. The future of the Canandaigua lacrosse program is in really great hands. I think they set the bar here in Canandaigua with their feeder programs, with their youth programs. And football has caught up to just about everybody else. They do play within themselves. They play. Does Frank Baker still play just themselves? Yep. Greg, all right. So here's a shot from the top, and a really nice save there by Garrett Kaiser.
You're right, Spence.
About what?
Flag.
Yeah, flag over there by the 410. We were just waiting for Geneva to get possession because the foul is going to go against number 44, Max Miller. Do we know what the call was? Didn't see what the call was, didn't hear what the call was, but it's a 1 minute. So 1 minute. So Canandaigua in the emo, extra man opportunity. Let's see if they can knock one down here and, open that gap just a little bit, leading 1-0 with 8:55 left to play. Shot from the top, bouncer goes wide right. And when I say right and left, folks, I mean as if you are a player looking at the goal, not the goalie looking out, unless otherwise notified. So Geneva, Class C, Canandaigua, Class B. Nice takeaway there. Nice stick check there by Jacob Trickler. He's going to go to Alfred, the senior, and turnover. So with 30 seconds, let's see if Geneva can clear successfully. Canandaigua trying to ride it out, trying to get possession. You see Kaiser come up out of goal, loses his footing, open net for Canandaigua, but they stopped Canandaigua's momentum with the call, and then Canandaigua went and was unable to get a shot on that wide open goal as Kaiser, the senior, came all the way out towards midfield. So Canandaigua does have 10 seconds left in the emo. Well, 13 actually. So let's see if they can make something happen here. Good job by Kaiser to take all that much time off of the emo opportunity, and they are going to kill it off. So Canandaigua unable to score on the extra man. That was against Geneva, 44, and Canandaigua unable. Just doing a little bit of housekeeping, trying to keep good notes for you here. And Canandaigua on the takeaway, going to bring it right up, all in the left-hand shot. On the run, no good for Nate Sheridan. Sheridan, the junior, on the run, lets the left-hander go, and I don't even know if that hit crease. It might have, but I'll tell you what, right now, Sheridan had a one-on-one. He had a great look at Kaiser, and was just unable to find nylon, was unable to put it on frame, and I guarantee you he wants that one back. That's going to haunt him until he knocks one down. So game time is 3:05. We've got 7:25 left to play, and Geneva gets it into the box for the first time. Bringing it down is Ryan Brown. Downtown Ryan Brown. 7:10 left to play. Thanks for joining us here on Chosen Spot Radio. We're also patched into the Canandaigua School District YouTube page. 7 minutes left to play. Hopefully we're coming in good. Over there on the left wing in the left alley, number 33, Austin Moore. He is a freshman, so a little bit of youth on each team, but we've seen that. The DNA here for lacrosse, sports as a whole, the community and the culture, absolutely. But the DNA here in lacrosse is such that you can bring these players up, and they don't just sit on the sideline. You don't bring a player up and just have him sit there. He comes up, they come up and they contribute. 6:30 left to play here in the first. Canandaigua up 1-0. Geneva doing the best they can. They're working outside the edges of the box, unable to get inside. Straight up, mark up, man-to-man defense being played by Canandaigua. Good job on the left-hand side there by Alex Rude, the sophomore on defense, 6'10". First shot, no problem on the knee for Meat. Fayola makes the save on the shot by, I believe it was Ryan Brown. So Ryan Brown trying to get that bagel off the board for Geneva, just unable to do it. These guys played on May 2nd of last year, the last time they played, and that was a championship season for Geneva. But, right, yeah, I believe it's in my notes, but I believe they are reigning and defending champions, right, in Class C? I'm pretty sure, man. I'm pretty sure they beat HFL. I could be wrong. I'm going to look in my notes. Nope, they were eliminated by HFL the year before that, or 19, yeah, 2019. So, dude, I read so many notes sometimes I get them mixed up, you know what I'm saying? But ball right in the slot there for Canandaigua. And I'll tell you, fans, hear me now, believe me later, those jerseys are really hard to read. And it's going to take me a couple games to get used to who's where and who's playing what. So, be patient with me. GLE, they bring it back up to Grant Working around again, that zone defense, shutting the hot spot in the island right out in front. And here's a shot from the left-hand side. And another save there on the Drew Willamay shot. The freshman tried to put one in, did not have the best angle. Oh, and a hard hit right up here at midfield. And they're going to let that go. I think that was Eric Platten that laid that dude out. And when you get laid out by an Eric Platten, you remember it. There's no question about that. What, do we have a flag out there or something? I didn't. What are they going to call him for that hit? Yeah, I was going to say cross-check maybe. Okay, so had the cross-check going there just a little bit. Who's it going to be against? Yeah, Eric Platten.
And that's one where he's right there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just in position.
When you get hit by Eric Platten, you remember it, and remember that he's going to Yale. He's going to play in one of the top major D1 programs, and I'm willing to bet he is going to immediately become a contributing factor for the Dogs. I think that's a really good grab on Yale's behalf, no question about that. 4:30 left to play. In the first, Canandaigua leading 1-0. Both goalies have been tested. Both goalies have passed, although Kaiser did let one by, but it is what it is. It was a good hard shot right from the slot by Morgan to get things started off. Here's a shot. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. Curtis Dennison, the senior, he had room between himself, or between Meat, Fayola, and the pipes. It just went a little wide left. If they had about 6 inches more to the right, I think they would have found some nylon there, and we'd be tied up 1-1, headed for the circle. But as it is, they bring it back to the X. Now it comes back up all the way up to the left alley and into the slot with Ryan Brown. Just working around the outside. Canandaigua camping on the inside, double team. Able to pick it back up, though, was Dennison. Now shot out in front, turned away. I'll tell you what, Fayola, man, he's not afraid to go face-to-face. He'll go face-to-face with you. 3:30 left to play here in the first. Good battle going on between the Geneva Panthers and the Canandaigua Braves. Like I said, last time these guys played, May 2nd, almost to the month a year ago. Canandaigua came away with the 12-3 dub. Oh, that's right. And then after I told you that, I wrongly told you that they were champs. Nice stick check up top here by the Canandaigua defense, but Geneva picks it right back up in the slot on the turnaround. Tried to do the quick stick on the turnaround was Max Miller, and we all know that name. We'll talk about it just a little bit at halftime when we talk about the St. John Fisher College Cardinals. Men's lacrosse team. Older brother Sam Miller. Then I don't believe any relation, Nicholas Miller, one of the top players in the country, and we have a flag down on the field. In fact, Nick Miller, I'll tell you this, I was going to wait for the halftime, but Nick Miller just named to the Thornton Award watch list, and that's huge. One of only 5 Division III players on that list. 2:05 left to play. I don't know which way that Thornton's going to go this year, but Syracuse has one of the top dogs in the country playing for him. I just wish he'd learn to pass the ball a little bit when he draws all that attention, because Dordovic draws a ton of attention, and he doesn't pass the ball, man. He tries to work his way through 5 defenders, Pass the ball. So anyway, shot and a nice turn away there once again by Garrett Kaiser, the senior, having a good game between the pipes so far. He's faced some handful of shots here by the Braves, and they do continue to put the pressure on, and they retain possession because they were closer to the ball when it went out of bounds after the shot. So the team closest to the ball after the shot, and that's the body part, not the stick. So when they're holding the stick up like that, it's not the stick, it's their hand. You know what I'm saying? But up top, Morgan picks up the loose ball, comes right down the middle, lets it go, and I'll tell you, Kaiser with a great save. I think that was off his stick. I could be wrong. Don't tell Mrs. Spazman I said that. But once again, first quarter brought to you by Patty's Place Diner, 33 South Main Street, 585-396-9470. Open 7 days a week. 7 days a week from 7 to 12:30, Patty's Diner. And here's a shot, and it's good. Coming down the Main Street, and I believe it's Elliot Morgan again, all by himself with 1:11 left to play. Dun-dun-dun-dun. So waiting for Marky's confirmation on that, but I believe with 1:11 left to play, it is Elliot Morgan. So Morgan picks up his second. Again, going to St. Joe's Collegiate Institute out there in Kenmore, right? I believe Kenmore, isn't that where St. Joe's is? Yes. Kenmore. So, again, Canandaigua going to head out that way and play Brother Rice. Remember when we went out there in Hamburg and they played Brother Rice and beat him, handed Brother Rice one of their first losses in years, and then Brother Rice turns around the next day and hands Victor one of their first losses in a few years. That was a great weekend, and I had a great time calling that game. But we're back at it. Face-off is won by Geneva, so Geneva up in the face-off category, I believe 3-0, I believe so far. I could be wrong. There's Tony DeLeo stalking the sidelines. Got his little driver's cap on backwards. No, you may be cool, but you're not Tony DeLeo cool. 35 seconds left to play here in the first quarter, brought to you by Patty's Place. Right there on South Main Street by the tracks across from City Hall, where the old Canandaigua Hotel was. I remember when that burned, man. I saw it. I lived up on Wood Street, and I saw all the smoke and the commotion. It was pretty wild. I took a walk down there, saw it all. Here's a running shot, and a nice save there by Meat on the running shot. Oh, who's that that ended down? That was Moore. Moore took that shot, ended up down, and here's a takeaway by Geneva, and they bring it down and in, and time is going to expire. So Geneva unable to capitalize on that opportunity. So at the end of one, Canandaigua leading 2-0. We're about to get the second underway, second of 4 quarters, 12 minutes on the board. Hurry up, Tony. Tony, you're gonna, dude, don't be throwing out a hip or anything, man, running. But, yeah, I'm picking on Tony. Here's a face-off, and they switch ends, and Canandaigua now defending the northern goal and shooting on the southern goal, and the face-off is going to come down and be awarded to Geneva. So Geneva, once again, they're controlling the face-off aspect of the game, and I know a lot of people. I call it the TD Erlin rule. Everybody wants to get rid of the face-off, especially when they know they have to play somebody of the caliber of TD Erlin because he's going to win 75-80%. I mean, in my opinion, best face-off guy to ever play the game. You can say what you want, but that's what I think. 11:20 left to play, but it's not going anywhere. You got to be strong. So Canandaigua down here on the right alley. Now they're going to bring it up top and then get it back over into the slot. And I Greg, is it just me or are those jerseys that hard to see? Okay, 10:55 left to play here in the first half. Ball up top with Morgan. He has both of Canandaigua's goals. Now they get it down here in the right alley. Like I said, it's going to take me a while to get used to everybody. I believe this is Sean Olvaney over here in the right alley. I'm pulling out the binocs. That's why I brought him. I knew I was going to need him because of these jerseys. It is Olvaney. Jackson Grant now in the slot up top. The midi up top running his show. He's going to take a shot, and the bouncer is good. So Jackson Grant is going to knock one down at 10:29 left to play in the first half. All right, so the assist goes to Olvaney, in fact. So talking about him, I didn't give them the curse. All right, I put some good mojo on them. You know what I mean? So one thing stand out different here in the boys' game at the face-off. They're not allowed to go down on their knees now. They have to stand up. Both feet have to be on the ground. Both, they have to be square and all that good stuff. So trying to, I guess that's a compromise. You could say they're trying to keep the face-off aspect in the game, but trying to make it as even as possible, I guess. But when you have an individual, when somebody is good at that job, it doesn't make much of a difference. It's all on the wrist, and then what you do with the body afterward and how you work the stick and all that good stuff. Canandaigua's going to bring it up the right-hand side, Eric Platten, and he's just going to make his way past a couple of Geneva Panthers. They're going to make a half-hearted attempt to try and play defense. He passes it down, and I can't tell who he was going to, but looks like I'm going to call that was Nate Sheridan, the junior. I don't think was expecting that pass, was unable to play it, and now Geneva trying to clear it, and they do get it across. They get it across to the long pole of Ben Meeks, and the Meeks shall inherit the earth. 9:24, and it goes out of bounds. So Geneva, out of bounds over on the. Oh no, timeout. So that's what I was going to say. Wait a minute. I got to check and make sure. I'm not throwing a strike on myself for that one. Second quarter brought to you by another one of our new sponsors, Canandaigua Record Exchange, 585-376-2321. Go see my man, John Cooley. He is a cool dude. He's got a lot of cool stuff down there. He's got a lot of vinyl. He's got some discs. He's got some cassettes. He's also got some trinkets. Nothing major, nothing big. No guitars, no amps, none of that kind of stuff. But he'll hook you up, man. He'll hook you up. He's got new releases, old school stuff, vintage stuff as well. The Canandaigua Record Exchange down there on Mill Street. I'll tell you exactly where. 170 Mill Street, 585-376-2321. And again, cannot thank sponsors enough for their support. We've got plenty of them. This is presented again by Matt Mamoon, Matt at the Motors. So if you're looking for, let's say, a cool ride, he specializes in Jeep, Ram, and GM products. Okay, but he'll take care of you. He'll hook you up. He'll get you the best price, and the experience will be quick. It won't be drawn out. It won't take forever. You give him the right information, and he can tell you within half an hour at the most whether you are approved or not. You know what I'm saying? So Canandaigua leading 3-0 with 9:24 left to play in the first half. Again, thanks for joining me here on the Home for High School Sports, Chosen Spa Radio. This is the season lid lifter for both Canandaigua, Geneva, and Chosen Spa Radio. We have a good, healthy schedule. We're going to Baldwinsville. We're going to bring you both the JV and the varsity games there at Beeville. We're also going to Buffalo. Geneva starting things off, coming out of that timeout, trailing 3-0, trying to get rid of that bagel on the board. They get it at X behind, and X is just behind the goal, because the goal, or the posts on the bottom, the not the uprights, but the posts on the bottom of the goal meet at an X, and if you continue those on, you make an X, and that's where you're at behind the goal, right? X. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Greg. Greg says, stop talking to me, Spaz. Man, I'm working over here. I
know, I'm not that smart.
8-4. Greg's like, yeah, man, it sounds good, whatever. They pass, quick pass out front and a shot, and it's good. That was a very quick pass by Ryan Brown. And I'll tell you, that's a big dude. That's a big dude who knocked that down, number 32, Curtis Dennison. So Curtis Dennison knocks down his first of the season, the senior, and Geneva ends the run for Canandaigua at 3. This one comes at 8:36, and I'll tell you what, that was a very quick pass, hard pass from over here behind the goal line, extended on the left-hand side from downtown Ryan Brown, and he found, like I said, right in the middle. Dennison was in traffic. It's not like he was wide open, but his stick was up there and nobody was checking him. His hands were free. So that's why that's a great recognition by Ryan Brown to recognize that he had just that brief window to get that in. He did, and the quick stick shot by Dennison makes it 3-1. So Canandaigua wins, I believe, their first face-off of the day. Could be wrong. Don't think I am, though. Luke McCroby, the Marcus. What's that? You think they might have won one in the first?
Will won that ground ball.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You got me. All right. First of the second quarter. How's that? I'll just change it to 8 minutes left to play. Canandaigua up 3-1, working around the outside of a zone defense being played by Geneva. They're just packing the island, brother. They packed light and they're hanging out on the island, the hot spot right out in front. And Canandaigua just going to pass it around. Here is a left-hander from the top. Gets deflected, taken away, snatched by Felix Rivera, the senior, and he's off to the races. And he gets a little bump from behind by Grant, knocks the ball out of his stick. It's loose, and it's picked back up by Geneva. Now up near the middle, and it gets away from Dennison, but picked up by Leo Coors. Leo Coors, that's a trivia answer. If anybody asks you what brand of brewski Smokey and the Bandit transported from Texarkana to Atlanta illegally, it was Coors Banquet beer. No question. 7:05. What was the Bandit's character's first name in that movie, by the way? Tick-tock, Bo. That's right, Bo. And Cletus was the snowman. Canandaigua now has the ball in the left alley, going to wheel it around, holding on to that 3-1 lead. You don't need to trounce a team for it to be a dub. It only takes one. It only takes one. 6:35 left to play. They swing it around over here to the hash marks, now in the right alley. Back over on the top, that is Nate Sheridan again. He had that one left-hand runner right down Main Street. It just went a little bit offline, man. Here he's got it, loses it, picks it back up, gets it over the hash marks, now the left alley. So Canandaigua just going around the outside. When you're just working the edges, you always want to keep an eye on the officials and see if they throw the stall warning up or anything of that nature. But Canandaigua moving it around. They're not just standing with it. I mean, the officials recognize that Geneva's playing a zone defense and Canandaigua's just trying to open up some space, open up a slot, get an angle. Here's a right-hander. Goes wide left, though. I think that was Elliot Morgan that took that. And again, that was Elliot Morgan. It's going to take a while to get used to everybody and their mannerisms and, with their favorite hand to shoot with. And here's Morgan, lets another one go. So Mitch Morgan, or Elliot Mitch Morgan, I might as well just call him that because I was going with Elliot Morgan is our this year's Mitch Pfeiffer. I always said, Mitch Pfeiffer, there is not a shot that dude would not like. There just is not a shot Mitch Pfeiffer doesn't like. And Elliot Morgan is built from the same cloth, no question about that. Here's a right-hander. Morgan gets it over to Grant. Morgan to Grant, good for Canandaigua with 5:24 left to play here in the first half. That's not the first time you're going to hear that all season. You're going to hear Morgan to Grant or Grant to Morgan all day long, all year long. Canandaigua up now 4-1 with 5:24 left to play here in the first half. Canandaigua very, very patient on offense, just looking for a slot, and they couldn't find it. Look at this, 2 in a row for McCroby. 2 in a row for Luke McCroby for Canandaigua, one of the players to watch here all season. Just the face-off is such a vital aspect. You can't do something if you don't have it, but Canandaigua is showing you that you can still win games and score as they keep the ball from going across midfield, which would be, in basketball speak, an over and back and would have been a turnover. But Canandaigua, they lost a few face-offs in a row, but were still able to score because they either – oh, look at that quick catch, man, from up top. From way up top, that feed came off the stick of Dom Goalie. I believe that was Goalie. Who got the shot, my dude? Did you see? I can't, it was left-hander. I think it was Big Matt Bellis. Yep. Yep. So, and I believe that was Goalie on the feed. So with 4:41 left to play, and speaking of Goalie's, well, who was it? It was Alvani. Okay, I thought it was who on the feed? On the assist or the? Oh, on the goal. Okay. Okay, so it was. Goalie does get the apple anyway. Speaking of that, go check out Ray's Restaurant, man, at the corner of 96 and 21. Ray's Restaurant, tell them the Spaz Man sent you. They'll take good care of you. They have a salad and a pizza bar now on Saturdays. So I want to go check that out. I want to go check it out. But I always get the Macy's omelet from Ray's Restaurant on Sundays because it's literally a mile and a half from my house. So it's not very far for Mrs. Spazman to go. I don't go. Mrs. Spazman does it for me. Greg, I don't know if Margaret's like this, but Mrs. Spazman loves doing things for me.
Margaret is wonderful.
Greg said Margaret's wonderful. Just so you know, Margaret, if you're listening somewhere, Greg said you're wonderful and he loves you very much.
That's right.
Absolutely. It's exactly what he said, word for word. 3:50 left to play here in the first half. We'll be back on the air again on, I believe, Tuesday when the boys host Schrader, and then Wednesday when the girls host Schrader. So it's a Canandaigua Warriors Tuesday and Wednesday, right in the midweek. But Canandaigua on the turnover, and let's see if they can take advantage and pad that lead just a little bit more, 5-1. I always say you don't call off the dogs until halftime. That's where I'm always at with that. But 5-1 in a game that can see runs, man, you can't rest on a 4-goal lead, no question. Especially, like I said, what am I trying to say? Oh, and a nice save there. Nice save there by Kaiser. Nice save. I don't know if that was the best angle for Canandaigua to get that shot off, but they do clear successfully. I'm just saying that Lacrosse can see a lot. It sees runs, and you can't sit on a 4-goal lead. So stick check, ball out of Geneva's cross, and it comes to Canandaigua. So Canandaigua forcing another turnover, and I believe that's Will Root over the freshman over on the far side. And Coach York is going to call a timeout. So timeout, Canandaigua stops the action with 2:43 left to play. 3:33 on the game time clock. I'll tell you what, from here I'm going to go home. I'm going to chill out. I'm going to get some ribs ready. I got about 4 packages of ribs. And I'm going to cook those bad boys up in Mrs. Spazman's. You got a pressure cooker, Greg?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what, Greg, I can't live without it. Can't live without the pressure cooker. The meat is just so tender, man. Oh, so tender. And what's your best meat that you cook, Greg, on the grill? What is your best meat? What do you if you had to say?
I'm not a great griller.
No, you're not a great griller. Does Margaret do all the grilling too?
No, I do. I have burgers and stuff. But
Come on, man. I see you with those old man New Balance out there, No, chicken. I'm a chicken dude. I will knock down some chicken. Yeah, I will knock down some. What's that? Oh, absolutely. Well, I'll make you some, man. I owe you a meal. All the food you gave me there when you were giving up that the St. Patrick's Day stuff. And now you said I almost called her. I almost said it. I almost called her. I almost said it. Did Margaret make that cake? Because that was. No? Would you buy it at the W or something? Now, I'm not going to say the word because I can't get them to sponsor me, so I'm not going to give them any promotion. But that's funny.
Or maybe her brother.
Oh, I'll tell you what, though. It was so good and tasty and moist. And talking about some Greg's wife shared some St. Patrick's food with me, and oh my goodness, it was delicious. That bread, was that the sourdough bread? Whatever it is, it was Irish sourdough bread or something. Soda bread. Oh, it was so good. But I can't eat it because of the carbs. I cannot eat it because of the carbs. But 240 left to play here. Canandaigua coming out of that timeout. Morgan. Here is Bellis. Alvaney. See, I'm getting to it. I didn't have to look. All right, I got to look. I got to look now and see. That's right. That's Drew Willamay at X behind. Now, you always have to have. You always want somebody behind the goal, man, to get that rebound. In essence, be closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds. So we haven't. I haven't. I don't recall seeing Geneva come out of that zone defense. And folks, if you're just joining in and you've never listened to a Chosen Spot radio broadcast, I stutter sometimes, I stammer, I repeat myself, but I get it done. And here is a nice feed down to the GLE on the left-hand side, and I'm going to venture that was Willamay. He's getting mugged right now, but I'm going to venture that was Willamay who knocked that down with 2:01 left to play. So Canandaigua, for the second time, has scored 3 straight goals. That was split. Geneva knocked one down. Yep, so Drew Willamay. All right, doesn't look like they're going to give somebody an apple on that, but there was a nice pass from the wing right down to the GLE, and I'll tell you, Willamay did not have that. That's like the third shot he's taken from that kind of an angle. He's not really that far up from the GLE, so he does not have a lot of angle to get around that pipe. And here's another face-off win for McCroby for Canandaigua, so that's 3 in a row. And I'll tell you, McCroby's figured something out, no question about that. So we're at 1:45 left to play here, in the first half. Canandaigua leading 6-1. Remember, the last time these guys played, May 2nd of last year, Canandaigua won 12-3. Coach York is one of those guys, though. He's not going to let a team run it up. He just is not going to do that. I've never seen a Devin York coach team do that. And I asked him, is that as much the players knowing not to do that, or are they under your direction? And he just basically said, he lets his players go out and play, and they kind of know what their expectations are. And here's a shot right just outside the island there by Canandaigua. A nice feed in to the middle into Casey McKenna. 11 minutes left to play. Just went, what's that?
Connor.
I said Casey, didn't I? Connor McKenna. Sorry, Connor. Sorry, T-Mac. Speaking of which, the Tim McKenna Construction Grinder. So in boys lacrosse, as Geneva tries to clear it, and they're going to call timeout as they run into a little bit of trouble right there near midfield. 48.9 left to play in the first half. Let them transform your yard. Ball up top. Ball up top with Ryan Brown. I like this Ryan Brown's acumen. He like I said, that took great presence of mind to recognize he had to put some snap into that feed that he got inside to Dennison for that one and only Geneva goal. 25 seconds left to play here in the first half. Look at Alvaney going over there saying, just get a little closer to the midfield line. So get it over to the slot to Dennison. He angles over to the right, tries to pass it out front. Read really well by Canandaigua. And Canandaigua, 5 seconds, going to bring it down the slot as Jackson Grant right to the elbow in the shot with 1.1 seconds left to play. Jackson Grant read that thing as if Geneva sent out an email with 48 hours notice. And Jackson Grant just intercepted that boy, took it right out of the air. Still trying to fit. Was that Willamay again at the elbow? I'm not sure. But that's the first time Canandaigua's been able to get 4 straight now with one. Yep, Willamay from Grant. Do we remember who got the assist on his last goal? Oh, they didn't give him one, did they? I was going to say they called that one unassisted. That's right. So as I said, Jackson Grant Dennison turned around, tried to get that ball into the slot, into the seam right in the middle, and Jackson Grant saw that coming from a mile. Did you see him? Grant was moving on that. I think Grant was moving on that before Dennison even knew he was going to try to pass it in. Just snatched it right out of the air, went 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, about 60 yards, and Willamette Grant drew the defense, and then Willamette was wide open at the elbow, right there just outside the crease, got it, and I'll tell you what, Kaiser had absolutely no chance to be able to knock that down. So with the first half coming to a close, Canandaigua is going to take a 7-1 lead into the locker room. He was named to the Thornton Award watch list, and as I said, one of 5 D3 players on the list. They played Nazareth and won that game handily today at noon. What was the score of that game, Greg? 20 to 14. Oh, 20 to 14. Okay, I thought you said 4 the first time. That's yeah. I'll tell you what though, when you put up 20 again a team, you know that. So another face-off win for Canandaigua, and like I said, McCroby had trouble with a few of them straight, but it looks like he has definitely figured something out. Definitely has a handle on what he's doing in the circle. So Canandaigua up 7-1, now shooting on the northern goal, defending the southern goal. Should probably see some bench players here eventually, maybe for Canandaigua, but we've got Grant, Morgan, and Bellis playing up top for Canandaigua. Again, Bellis, he's got a lot to live up to with his big brother Mark. Here is a shot. Mark was the Canandaigua, I believe, the Chosen Spa Radio Canandaigua Offensive Player of the Year in his senior year before heading out. And I always like to pick on players and say, you know, when I read accolades in your college bios, how come Chosen Spa Radio Player of the Year isn't one of them? Yeah, I wouldn't expect it either. But anyway, shot up top with Grant. He takes that right-hander. And again, him and Elliot Morgan, there isn't a shot that they will not take from the 25, 15 yards out. But Canandaigua does get it. They're the closest. Oh, and a nice job there on the long pole by Jacob Trickler, the Alfred commit, the senior. But it does go out of bounds off of his stick, and it'll be picked up here by Jackson Grant over on the near side. Sheridan swings it over to Willamette. Willamette swings it over to the right-hand side to Alvaney. And Canandaigua once again just playing around the outside, but now they're camping guys in the middle to try to create chaos. Morgan trying to play inside that zone defense and again disrupt that, you know, that flow that a zone defense relies on. Zone defense relies on a flow. If you can create chaos against the zone defense, oh, Willamette gets stoned there. Nice job by Garrett Kaiser to stone Willamette. And here is outlet pass by Kaiser, but it's going to be picked up by Platten. He's going to bring it right across midfield, and Platten's going to bring it down and let it go, and it's going to go. It bounces through the crease, but Willamette is back here. Is it Willamette or Willamette? Willamette. All right, Willamette. Drew Willamette. He's already got. He's got 2. Morgan has 2. Grant has 2. Canandaigua has 7, leading 7-1 with 9:35 left to play here in the third. And with as well as Canandaigua can move the ball and they can create things for themselves anywhere on the field, I don't blame Geneva for trying to play them, in a defensive zone set. So in the game for Canandaigua, Braden Giuseppe, Gio in, the sophomore. He's got it up top. Oh, looks like he wanted to pull the trigger there from the 25, but instead passed it over to Sheridan. Oh, I'm finally getting to the point where I don't need to look at the sheet. Goal line extended for Willamette, and here is a shot from the left alley by Morgan. Kaiser with the save, and he's going to outlet over here to Luke Chaffin, the senior. He's going to feed it over to the far side, and they do get it across, off the ground, off the carpet. Looked like all right, ball gets knocked out of the poke check, and it's going to be picked up by Meat and Fayola on the outlet pass. And couldn't play it cleanly, was rude, and it's going to go to Geneva And on the run, picking it up, is Austin Moore, and he does have a little bit of foot speed, but he's going to go down the left alley and give it off to Max Miller and allow Geneva to set up. Geneva setting up defensively. Again, Canandaigua matching up, man-to-man. Geneva has played that zone defense and basically hasn't come out of it all day. 7:55, trailing 7-1. See if they can knock one down and close that gap up just a little bit. So Moore with it in the slot. And the slot is always just the center, folks, whether it's hockey, whether it is lacrosse. There are some parallels between hockey and lacrosse. No doubt about it. So puck with Tony Priano Portillo, the senior. Portillo. I made sure I wasn't going to say that one wrong. Oh, and a great poke check. Great poke check there by Elliot Morgan to hit the stick. And the ball comes out. And as a result, Canandaigua was going to transition into offense. Morgan gets it into the box. Grant is going to bail, and we've got a couple new players in for Canandaigua. One of them being Braden Giuseppe. And over on the far side, I've got to pull out the binoculars. That's Connor McKenna. Connor hit a cheeseburger once in a while, will you? I said it. I don't think he skips leg day. That's his build, man. That is his build. Tim McKenna Construction. If you need something built, they can handle it. High-end stuff. Know what I'm saying? Tell them Chosen Spa Radio and the Spaz Man sent you. Just don't tell them I was picking on this kid. 6:20 left to play here in the third quarter. GLE passed up top and deflected, or stolen away, I should say. Right out of thin air. Right up here by Dennison. Dennison, the senior. Giuseppe's going to ride him down past X over to the far side now on the GLE. So Dennison is going to swing it back up to downtown Ryan Brown. Stuff like that's got to hurt, man. Shot, knocked down and deflected before it ever got through by Lucas Black. And that's one thing when you get a 6-goal lead, you're able to play some 2s and 3s. You're able to bring in some players off the bench to get a little bit of play time. Because you never know. You never know when you're going to need a next man. 5:35 left to play. Oh, there's a flag. They're going to call what are they going to call a cross check on Giuseppe? Flag on the play, and I think, are they going to enforce that right now, or they waved it off? It looked like he waved it off. He waved it off? Oh, no, yep, I think the official is over there going, no, we waved it off. It looked like the official, waved it off with his hand thing. So not sure why they waved that off, but Geneva retains possession. They've got it in the slot. Thought they may have been calling there was a flag on the play, folks. No doubt about that, but the official, something happened there where he waved it off. And they pass it up top, and it goes past Jeremy Askin, and it's going to be picked up by Canandaigua right at midfield by Grant. Loses the handle, picks it off for one bounce. Coming down the slot is Morgan. Face dodge, knocks it down. So Elliot Morgan, that was your classic face dodge. Gave him a little shoulder fake, jab step, then went left-handed and knocked it down, or went laterally to the left and then knocked it down. So Canandaigua, Elliot Morgan with another one. Jackson Grant with a great feed. And Elliot Morgan with his third. He's got the heady with 4:53 left to play to make it 8-1. That was just a great play. That all started with Jackson Grant. Well, it all started with the turnover by Geneva. All right, and then Geneva, to me, it didn't look like they went too hard after that 50-50 ball, but it was picked up by Grant, and he went 10, 20, 30 yards, 40 yards, and then passed back to Morgan, wide open coming down Main Street, and he just did a face dodge on the defender when he got to him and then knocked it down. So McCroby doing battle with Jeremy Askin now, and they are going to award it to Geneva. So Geneva trailing 8-1. Let's see if they can get a crooked number up there. There's another sports cliche. Sports are so cliched, but that's another one. They got rid of the bagel. Now they need to get rid of that straight number. Ball up top with downtown Ryan Brown, drawing a long pole. Now, I don't blame you, but bringing a long pole all the way up here by the 45. Now going to run them down. That is Rude. That's Will Rude on the defense, the freshman. How deep is a program? How deep is a program? I think that was a stick check. Nice outlet pass. Nice outlet pass from Fayola out top. Great ball movement to get it to the GLE, but Willamette is going to lose the handle. Still loose, and it's going to roll all the way back to Kaiser in the crease. How deep is a team when freshmen can come up and just start contributing and playing that kind of defense? 3:35 left to play in a turnover takeaway by Canandaigua over on the right alley. Right near midfield, taken away by Reed Emerson. I call him Tank. You know why I call him Tank? Because the dude's a tank, man. You know who he reminds me of? Who is that guy on the comics and that runs through walls? He's got that helmet on and he just runs through everything. That's Reed Emerson, dude. That guy, I'll tell you what, I would not want to get truck stuck by that kid. There's no question. He is a tough, solid kid, no doubt. 3 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Canandaigua up 8-1 over the Geneva Panthers, lifting the lid on the 2022 lacrosse season. We're supposed to be here last night when Canandaigua girls hosted Pittsford, but canceled. Too cold. What a difference. It is still chilly, but I'm in a shirt and shorts. But it's got to get down to about 40 for me to start worrying about all that. Grant in the slot. Nice turn away there by Kaiser. Rebound comes out. In the stick briefly, of course, but he got it knocked out and ball was picked up by the defenders, given to Kaiser, and he comes over to the right alley and they get it up, and Max Hike cannot play it cleanly, so trying to run it down. Black is in there, got a little bit of a scrum working, and the officials are only going to let that go for so long before they call it. There was a nice little scrum there, though. Also in there was the 22 Dakota Bajdas, I think. Bajdas. 1:55 left to play. Bajdas, a sophomore. So, like I said earlier, some youth on each of these teams. No question about that. Want to thank again everybody for joining us here on Chosen Spa Radio, presented by Matt at the Motors. And thank all the spa. They can't. Beautiful pass inside to Bajdas, but he can't handle it. Can't play it cleanly. Right on the island, and there's some frustration there. You can see the frustration. Max Miller frustrated. Canandaigua in transition. They're going to pull up at the edge of the box. Let me see. That was. I'll give Alex Rude a shout out. Now, all those Rude's brothers and sisters, they're all related. All of them.
Ethan, Alex, and Will.
All right.
Ethan's 12th grade.
Ethan?
Alex.
Ethan is a senior. He's going to Duke. Ethan is going to Duke. I don't think he's playing lacrosse, though, is he? No, he's going
to go be a smart dude.
He's going to get some degrees, and nice try on the pass outside, but Morgan picks it up, goes over to Grant on the right alley. He jukes, he jives, and he's going to come over here to Willamette at the X. Willamette brings it up over here to the side to Sheridan. They swing it over to, I got to look. Dom Galassi made me look. Here's a shot. Goes over the crossbar. So it'll be Canandaigua's ball because Willamette was closest to it when it went out of bounds. And like I said, folks, that's a body part, not a stick that the refs are looking for. Pass up top to Morgan, over to Grant. He's also got Mitch Pfeiffer feet. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Him and Morgan. Left alley, slot, Morgan. Nice job there by Kaiser to sight that outlet pass is a problem, though. The clear for Geneva has been an issue. Oh, little push to the back. Little push to the back there right in front of the official by Luke Chaffin. The parents all upset about it and stuff. Give the ref a half a second to make the call first, will you? Funny, man. So ball is going to go out of bounds behind and go to Geneva. They've got 4.3. They're going to need a Hail Mary here or something divine to have a shot, and it does come all the way down into the slot, but time is going to expire with Canandaigua with the 8-1 lead in this third quarter. The final frame up on the board, 12 minutes, fresh 12, Canandaigua up 8-1. I want to thank Canandaigua Hall of Famer Todd Kelman from Payfile IQ. He was class of 93 here and inducted in 1999, and he was the first basketball player ever to be named AGR in basketball from Canandaigua, and that was in 1983. 83, class of 83, not 93. I was like, wait a second, man. He's older than that. All right, give Todd at Payfile a call, 585-317-2020. Fourth quarter, Whitcomb Law Firm as Canandaigua wins that face-off. Whitcomb Law Firm, whitcombfirm.com, 585-412-6002. Give my boy Dave a call if you got some lawyering that needs to be done, as Jed Clampett would say. I need some lawyering. That was an Andy Griffith, too. You ever watch Andy Griffith, Craig? Oh, man, come on. Love Andy Griffith. Love Andy Griffith. Barney, you know what? Barney Fife is probably one of the most annoying TV characters of all time, but Don Knotts played him. I mean, Don Knotts is Barney Fife, you know what I mean? But the more you watch it, the more Barney grew on me, I think. You know why? Because he speaks his mind. Yeah, he's Barney, and there's a lot of, stuff that you got to deal with in being friends with Barney, but he speaks his mind, man. He isn't afraid to tell you what he's thinking, and I like that about somebody. That's what I like about I like one of my personality traits. Listen, the things that annoy you the most are the things you'll miss the most when it's not around. Whitcomb Law Firm, 412-6002, whitcombfirm.com. Canandaigua up 8-1. Up next for Geneva will be Mid-Lakes Red Jacket on Wednesday. Hump Day. Canandaigua hosts Raider on Tuesday, which is our next sportscast. And the Canandaigua G-Lax, the girls host Raider on Wednesday. Their season kickoff party taking place at the Mike Foster Athletic Center tomorrow. Ball is going to go out of bounds. Uh-oh. Somebody, looks like somebody said the magic word or something down there. Official blew the whistle. Yep, a little bit of what's that? It should be a 30-second, right? 30-second foul. I don't know. Is that what it was? This post was right in the way, and I didn't bend forward. But it's only a 30-second, but it is going to go against who's it going against? Is it going against Brady? Yep, went against Brady Camello over there. So, I mean, listen, if there's a dude on the field I don't want to get mugged by, it is Brady Camello. I mean, that dude is just solid. He is. Greg Herbst said his brother has muscles on muscles. Dennison with a hard sidewinder shot from the slot. And Meat with a great stick save. Long rebound, but ball is going to be awarded back to Geneva at the GLE. Downtown, Ryan Brown with it right at the 10-yard line. The GLE is just goal line extended, folks. That's a line that goes straight horizontally from the uprights of the goal. So it's the 10-yard line here on a football field. And the end zone is the end zone the out of bounds or a little bit past it? A little bit what's that?
We called the timeout before whatever reason they gave the ball back to Geneva.
So 7 seconds left in the penalty to Brady Camella. It was a 30-second. Canandaigua leading 8-1. Final frame brought to you by our friends at Whitcomb Law Firm. can't thank our sponsors enough. And, folks, we have room for more sponsors. If you would like to help us out, we're right here. We're right here, and we will accept your help. Get a hold of me. Text me. Call me. Numbers are right on Facebook, right on the website. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. I am. Chosen Spot Radio is. I'll set the table for you. Canandaigua leading Geneva 8-1. 9:38 left to play in the final frame. 30-second penalty against Brady Camella. Not sure what it was, but I'll tell you what, Greg, if it was a push, it'd be a minute, wouldn't it?
Push is technical.
Okay, all right, might have been a push, but I just thought it happened far enough or late enough after whatever people were cheering about. It looked like somebody in that instance is usually a ref like, oh really, and then throws the, oh, you said the magic word, you need to go, you're in a timeout, young man. But Geneva in the emo for just a couple more seconds and time does expire. So both teams unable to knock down any goals and take advantage of their emo opportunities. But there's only been a couple. There's only been one each all game, if I am correct. Ball up top with Geneva. Matt Hike, the freshman, passes it down to the right alley to Max Miller. Miller loses his footing, and there's a flag. We're going to have a flag. Yep, and he knew it too. Elliot Morgan is going to get sent to the sin bin. He's going to get sent to the sin bin. Looks like he might have made contact on Miller while Miller was on the ground. But just as time, a little bit after time expires on one, we get another one against Canandaigua. This one against Elliot Morgan. What's that?
Another 30-second.
Another 30-second. Yeah, so, the official's going to do as best he can to protect that player on the ground. And Morgan, nothing malicious, just good hard lacrosse. I mean, it's not like he, did a Rob Gronkowski and, dropped down on him on his back. Who did Gronkowski? Yeah, White, yes. And now they were talking about bringing him to Buffalo. Oh, boy. Anyway, ball behind, and 5 seconds left in the emo opportunity for Geneva, and another great job by by the Canandaigua defense. Steer right to. I'm definitely giving myself a strike on that one. The Canandaigua defense doing a great job. Dennison passes it down to the GLE. Nice job by Mason Bolster, the senior defender. Again, one of the players taking advantage of the 7-goal lead by Canandaigua. Able to play the 2s and the 3s, use that bench up just a little bit because you never know when you need to call on a 2 or a 3 or a bench player to we in sports we call it next man up. When a starter gets hurt, I've gone on this rant many times. 2s and 3s, if you don't start, that doesn't mean you don't have a role on the team. Everybody has a different role, and you have to go in looking at, I'm going to do the best I can with whatever role I'm assigned. And most of the time that role you're assigned is based upon merit. It's based on merit. We've lost that as a whole, I think, in not only society that we live in, but all across the world. We don't base things on merit anymore, but it is what it is. Don't get me started on that. Again, back on the air on Tuesday when Canandaigua hosts the Warriors of Webster Schrader. That's the dudes, and then the ladies, they're on Wednesday when they too host Schrader. Both of those games right here live on Chosen Spot Radio. I'll most likely be patched into the boys video. I'm not sure if we can figure out a way to get me into the girls. They're using the huddle, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. We'll see. Fresh, or I should say, where are we at here? 7:45. Fresh out of the timeout. That's what I was trying to say. 8-1 Canandaigua. Going to go around the outside. Geneva settled into that zone defense. Now, I don't know. I haven't scouted them. I don't know if that's what they play all the time. Greg, do you know? Is that I don't know if that's a Geneva thing on the regular or if they're just doing it for Canandaigua. But either way, it does take a facet out of the game.
It's been a Penyan thing, right?
It has been a Penyan thing, yep. Well, Penyan will frustrate you. They pass it. That's how you do it. You pass it. You get that defense to move around, but they tried to feed it inside, but it was taken away by Geneva. They tried to feed it inside to Dom Goalie. And once again, the Canandaigua Boys Lacrosse Boosters would like to thank the following sponsors for their continuous support. Here's Dennison. Put that on hold for just a second. Dennison is going to get his second of the game, and then the run for Canandaigua at 5. Or no, was that 35 or 32? Let me see.
32 looks excited.
Yeah. Well, it's Dennison, so 32. Dennison gets his second of the game. That one comes at 6:51 left to play here in the final frame and makes it 8-2. So Geneva, baby steps, taking little bits, little nibbles. They ended up getting rid of the bagel. Now they got rid of that straight number and have a curved number up there. Now let's see if they can add to that in the final 6:45. Back at the face-off, scrambling, digging, doing the do. McCroby and Askin at it again. It's over on the hash marks. Huge scrum. Still hasn't been picked up, and it is finally going to be picked up by Canandaigua's Lucas Black. But he's going to get mugged by near midfield. And what do we have, a timeout? Yep, Coach York is going to burn a timeout. I believe it was Coach York. Is going to burn a timeout, stop the action at 6:29 here in the final frame, brought to you by Whitcomb Law Firm, 585-402-6002. This water break, once again, brought to you by our friends at Clearly Aquatics. This water break brought to you by our friends the Pond Guys at Clearly Aquatics. Water gardens, fountains, ponds, and oh so much more. Let the Pond Guys at Clearly Aquatics transform your property. Call Sean and Dave at 585-657-7679 or check them out online at clearlyaquatics.com and see their full list of services. Fast, friendly, and courteous. Clearly Aquatics. Hey, looking for a Jeep for that perfect graduation present? Maybe a new tough Ram to tow your favorite new toy.
Abby Harrod, number 18, Canandaigua G-Lax. You're listening to Chosen Spot Radio.
All right, welcome back. She's not number 18 anymore. That's how long ago that spot was produced. Number 2, and she's going to play. She's going to play lacrosse at the top program in the country right now, Boston College. Freshman McKenna Davis graduated from here, and she's lighting it up for BCU. Dennison brings it all the way around, tries to get the garbage dump over here on the near side and just can't get it to go. So ball will go out of bounds over on the far side and stay with Geneva, downtown Ryan Brown. Going to bring it over here to the left alley on the near side, trying to make something happen up top, back over to the right alley. And it's going to be picked up by Canandaigua. It's in the cross of, is that still meat? Oh, yeah. Still meat out there. Jack Fayola, the junior. Again, the Hobart Statesman commit. They do get it down to the box, does Canandaigua. 8-2 with 5:35 left to play here in the final frame. Now up top to Reed Emerson, the junior. Morgan going to swing it over to the left alley to Grant. Oh, nice job by Grant to reach up there one-handed, lets it fly, and it goes by. And it is going to go to Canandaigua because Willamie was there. Willamie playing the good old Devin Andrews. Just speaking of All-Americans, Devin Andrews, a high school All-American here, now a national champion with Lemoyne. Graduate student playing once again for the Dolphins out there near Syracuse. Lemoyne, always one of the top D2 programs in the country. But every time I see that name Tufts come around, it's like, man, they always like to, it's like they like to play spoiler. Tufts, they're elephants, right? Isn't that their mascot? Yeah. So over here on the right alley, going to be picked up by Bellis. It's funny, though, how you can look at a kid and go, yep, plays just like his brother did. Looks like, same mannerisms, same styles, the way they handle a stick. Over here now to Damian Lovejoy. Lovejoy, not committed to a college, instead going to get into heavy machinery. And I'll tell you what, if you don't go to college, learn a trade. Get into a trade, and heavy machinery is a good one to get into. If you operate them, you make good scratch. And if you repair them, you make even better scratch. So not a bad thing to get into. Good job, Damian. His brother, where's his brother go? Temecula? Not Temecula. Okay.
I'm not. Oh no, he goes. Oh no, actually I don't.
Right out in front, Jackson Grant. They feed the ball out in front to Jackson Grant. He's going to knock that down, and I believe Grant has the Hattie. So Grant with a Hattie. I don't know who that assist is going to go to, but it's now 9-2. Canandaigua bordering. Let's see. All right, so the assist from Willoughby. So, boy, I've got a tough call here, man. I got a tough call for the Kicks On Main player of the game because Elliott Morgan and Grant, their numbers mirror each other. Yeah, and we do have a goalie change for Canandaigua. And I noticed it, folks. I noticed it. Yeah. All right, so now in the game for Canandaigua, big boy Tyler DeRue. Tyler DeRue, the sophomore. He is, he casts an imposing figure between the pipes for Canandaigua. Loose ball. Emerson is going to come up with it. So the tank picks it up, brings it across, sends it down to the alley. They get it inside the box. With 3:40 left to play, Canandaigua leading 9-2. So let's play a game of who will first. Who will first? Will Geneva get the 3 or will Canandaigua get the double digits first? Canandaigua leading 9-2 with 3:20. Going to start the season 1-0. Losing his footing up top was Lovejoy. He's going to pass it down to the X to Willoughby. 3:10 left to play. Brings it up GLE. Doesn't put any pressure on the goal. Now with Lovejoy, can't handle it. Loose. Ends up off his foot, though, and picked up by, I believe, Alvaney. And the only reason I say I believe, folks, is, like I said, those numbers are just really, really hard to see. But I'm getting to the point where I know where everybody is and, who's doing what. So 2:40 left to play. Canandaigua up 9-2. Over on the left alley, trying to look for a shot. Here's McKenna. He feeds it inside. The turnaround is no good. That turnaround to Lovejoy. He ended up on the carpet as a result, but he hops right back up. Falling down isn't the problem. Staying down is, man. Get back up. 2:25 left to play here in the final frame. Brought to you by WhitcombLawFirm.com. Right, Whitcomb, No, WhitcombFirm.com. Oh, and they feed inside to Willoughby, and Willoughby Garrett Kaiser had no, there was nothing he was going to be able to do with that. Now Willoughby gets the Hattie. So Willoughby with a Hattie. I don't know who that feed was from. I'll wait until Markey.
It's third for Willoughby, number 12. Aces goals going to 10, Connor McKenna.
All right, so Connor McKenna with the assist. He gets the apple. And Willoughby with his Hattie. So, statistically speaking, I've got 3 players who stand right out with Hatties, and Elliott Morgan, Jackson Grant, and Drew Willoughby. Back at it. I think you've got to. I know who my grinder's going to be. And speaking of which, Luke McCroby takes it right down Main Street. Oh, and a nice outlet, a huge 50-yard outlet from Kaiser. And Geneva transitions very quickly, but Canandaigua disallows them a shot, a chance at going right at the goal. Feed it out to Dennison. Can't get a shot off. We still haven't had a look here at DeRue. Tyler DeRue, big kid. And he's only a sophomore. But everybody in the DeRue family is a big kid. Brings it down the right alley, out in the middle. The man Moore, he tried to quick stick on that, but it went wide. And goes out of bounds with a $1:13 left to play. So Geneva's going to start out their season 0-1. Canandaigua will start out their season 1-0. Here's Dennison, feeds it to Moore. Moore can't play it cleanly. It's loose on the GLE. Comes out to Dennison, lets the right-hander go. Tried to hit the upper 90 over DeRue's shoulder, but it went wide right. There was not a lot of room. There was a very, very small window of opportunity, literally, for Dennison to get a goal on that. Canandaigua with the nice clear. Final 45 seconds. Bringing it down. They get it to Matt Bellis. They're going to swing it down behind. They're going to bring it back up top. Grant on the run. See, I didn't need to see his number. I could just tell. He's Mitch Pfeiffer Jr., that kid. Literally, I'm telling you. So, Matt Bellis over here on the near side, I would have to say they're probably under the directive to not have to worry about shooting. They've got double digits. They lead 10-2. Mrs. Spaz, man, break out those ribs and start getting them room temperature. I'll load them up with garlic. There's no such thing as too much garlic, is there, Greg? All right, time is going to wind down. We're down to single digits, and there you have it, folks. Canandaigua is going to start the 2022 campaign with a 10-2 victory over the Geneva Panthers. All right, so let me see here. I want to thank Dave Whitcomb with Whitcomb Law Firm for sponsoring the fourth quarter.